Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Across the Board. This is episode 12. I know we had some breaks in between, but that would mean this is the third month of streaming Photo Finish. Absolutely wild to think about. Before we get started tonight, no information is financial advice. We are going to be talking a lot about data and racing, and I'm going to be showing you some things tonight. So keep that in mind when I'm showing this to you. Also, keep in mind things like sample sizes. So, the goal of this show is to educate and entertain. Web3 games are subject to change at a moment's notice. So, please, if you decide to spend your hard earned money, plan accordingly. I want to give a shout out to Trot on in chat. Trot, how you doing tonight? Good to see you. OG in the house. I love when the OGs show up. Makes me so happy. Let's see, who else do we have in here? PFog for the follow 5 days ago from Footium. Appreciate that. And all right, we are live right now on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So feel free, whichever platform you prefer, give it a go. Let's dive in. Let's get started right away. So I want to get back to some of the OG segments, the first of which being news. This wasn't necessarily on the site, but Smup from VBA days, absolute legend, super nice guy. He bought an S plus LDS horse, Ruthless Duchess, for 800,000 Derby. That is the equivalent of 10,000 US dollars. Absolutely wild, insane buy. When you look at the grade of the horse, left dirt soft, absolutely insane. So happy for him. So happy for YSM. I just think that's a huge move. I wish both of them all of the best. What's up, F Dog? How you doing? Good to see you tonight. So we're going to dive in right away talking about some updates from the team. This isn't necessarily breaking news by any means, but like to put it out there especially for newer followers or people who maybe follow me that aren't as active or into Photo Finish. So we're going to dive in. We're going to talk about this first update right here. Really talking about, where is it? They're talking about some breeding updates, just amount of foals, who they liked. Then gameplay changes. This is the part that I want to focus on right around here. So peak ages, all Gen 0 horses will peak between 4.5 and 5.5 years old. We don't know when exactly that's going to be, and it's going to be dynamic for all horses. So you might peak super fast at 4.5 and fall off right away. You could, gradually ramp up to 5.5 and gradually go down. Anything in between. And the thing that they note here is that the peak age is going to be genetic and that this is going to be passed down from generation to generation. So, sorry, I got popcorn in my teeth. So what this means is that it's another factor for us to really consider, think about when we are breeding. Are we consolidating, whether we realize it or not, the peak age of our horses? Is it slowly coming down time over time? Or is it something that we try and extend out? Is this something that, Chad, I'd love to hear. Are you thinking that you are going to consider peak age? And if so, how is that going to factor into your breeding and stable plans going forward? For those of you that want to follow along that don't have the link, drop it in chat for you right here. What up, Foreign? How you doing? Good to see you. So outside of peak age, that's something that I want to be more cognizant of. And it's not a perfect metric, but if we just flip over to my site quick on the horsepower tool, that's part of the reason why I created, and of course it refreshes as soon as I get here. That's part of the reason why I created this season index performance chart. So again, you're looking at finish positions, where you finish within the pack, lower is better. And you're also looking at profitability. So the theory being that, maybe these first few seasons where a horse races, you might not be totally dialed in. But then as you get more dialed in, which I did, I think towards the end of, season 3 here, you can see, okay, this is starting to decline and profitability is going up. So, hey, this horse maybe hasn't finished its peak yet, in theory. I'm not saying this is concrete, and I'm not saying this is perfect. The horses are incredibly nuanced, but definitely something to consider. And I think speed may factor into this, but in my opinion, horse performance is so much more than speed in this game. Absolutely so much more. Lacey's in the house. Lacey, how you doing? Good to see you, Lacey. Thanks for popping in. So, switching back over here, the other thing that they talk about is durability. and kind of the breakdown. And again, I'm just going to be summarizing this. I don't want to read this to you word for word. I'm just trying to take out the key points. So 2 and 3-year-old horses will never get injured when raced at full recovery. 4-year-old horses will very likely never get injured when raced at full recovery. As horses age from 5 to 8, they start to become more and more likely to get injured. Much like the peak age, this durability is also a gene that is going to be passed down. So, again, that's why on horsepower, I have, in all of the races right here, there is a column for was injured. So as you're scrolling, let's say you want to buy a horse, you're racing a horse, you're just doing a deeper evaluation. Just look at this column. If you start to see true populating more and more here, I think that would be a pretty good sign to say that, hey, maybe this horse has some durability issues. Again, something to consider when you are breeding long term. Does durability matter to you? Also factor in when that durability comes into play. Maybe you're breeding and you end up breeding for a shorter peak age to where the durability won't even come into effect or factor. But I love that we're adding 2 extra layers of nuance to breeding strategies in this game. I think it's super, super fun and adds a lot of unique ideas and theories going forward. Let's see. What else did I want to cover here? The racing calendar. So just talking about that quick. The improved banding of grades, in my opinion, they added B- to A-, which I think is a nice improvement. A to S-, S- to S+. They removed B- to B+, and A- to S-. There are also non-winner races, so non-winners of 1, 2, 3, which I think is going to add a lot more utility to some of these horses that may be struggling a little bit and create new opportunity for them, which I think is really cool, and updated the claimer schedule. Second piece of news I want to cover tonight is all about the juice. And what up, Mo? Made it. Happy to see you here. And so really this is just talking about kind of the breakdowns of the race purse. This popcorn's killing me, chat. So 40% of the money is going to go to the race purse. 40% is going to go to an end of season airdrop. 10% is going to go to juicing parimutuel pots on free entry races, which I think is pretty cool. And 10% to marketing. What I like most about this, like numbers aside, is just, again, the transparency of the team in communicating this to us. And, you know, we know where things are going. We know how this is all functioning. There's no guessing. There's no, oh, I have to dig in and do the math. The team is being very upfront with us, and I really, really, really appreciate that a lot. Before we get into kind of the meat and potatoes of the night, and yes, I do have a shot poured next to me for those of you that saw the tweet. This will be happening soon, but I have a race I thought we could all watch. It ran at 6. I have no clue how it turned out, but it is a race with Hakanai and is not with my new horse. Unfortunately, I tried to get him in a race earlier. It didn't work out, but I figured I don't do many live races. Let's check it out. So if I'll just do a quick refresh on the page, and we'll go to inbox, and no spoiler replay. I don't think I'll play sound because I don't want to just destroy your ears. We got Buttermilk, the favorite, 4.6 odds. Hakanai's rocking 8 odds. Hakanai's a pretty strong LTS performer at 11 furlongs. This is 11 furlong, 80%. This is a soft race right now. Handicap stakes, which he's run at before. And this filled up quickly. There were only 3 horses in here until a little earlier today. So Hakanai usually closes. I don't love it when he starts out near the front. This is usually a very bad sign, chat. I realize you can't even see it. Let's switch to the race. There we go. Trot's betting 500 on 6. Appreciate it, Trot. Appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, change that to 3, Trot. Change that to 3. So yes, gate 3, Hakanai. You'll know the white horse with the bright teal silks stands out pretty easily. I like that he's just easy to find in the pack. He's holding on in there at 3 furlongs. Buttermilk, the favorite, pulled out ahead decently. What a beautiful name for that horse. Is that not a buttermilk colored horse, chat? That is incredible. Look at that horse. That's beautiful. Whoever named that horse, whatever stable that is, well done. That's beautiful. Hats off to you. All right, Hakanai. Usually when he's running, I like to see him start to close around 8 or 9. So we're okay. As long as he doesn't fall like completely to the back right now, I think we might be in an okay spot. Just keep hanging with him. Keep hanging with him, my guy. Don't get boxed in. Do not get boxed in. I'm also worried that he'll like peak around 7, and that will scare me. Which is looking like might happen. Buttermilk falling down. Mo, I should have called you up here. You would be amazing at calling this race. And he's moving now. He's moving now. We just hit 7. We're on the edge of he's either going to just crap the bed or he's going to take it. Come on, Hakanai. Come on, Hakanai. We're at 8. He's still in first. Come on, buddy. Oh, we got, who's that coming on the outside? Number 9, Dr. Jekyll. Flying. Absolutely flying. Come on, buddy. There we go, 9. We got 2 furlongs left. We have 2 furlongs left. Just take it. Come on, Hakanai. Come on. We are so close. Just run. All you have to do is run straight now. Just run straight and do it really, really fast. Do it really, really fast. We just hit 10. Come on, Hakanai. Come on, Hakanai. Finish it. Finish it. 100 meters. Finish it. Come on. Get that dub. Does he still have it? Does he still have it? Chat, he still got it. Let's go. Let's go. Hakanai still has it. Big, big, big dub. First race of the new season. I am shook. I did not know the results at all. Woo! That's my guy right there. That is my guy. You'll be seeing, look at the Quirk, look at that quirky silk. Oh my God, Chet, you love to see it. My heart is racing right now. Absolutely racing. Pun intended. 6,240 Derby win. Wow. Very, very happy with that. Let's get the full details here. Hakanai 6,000. Wow, on a 1,500 entry. What a way to start season 6. What a freaking way to start the season. I want pancakes too, Mo. Oh, we got Brett Smith in chat. Let's go, Brett Smith. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, F-Dog. Appreciate the support. Trot you as well. Bad Crockett in the house. MJJC purchase yesterday. Interested in your opinion on it later? Absolutely. We'll definitely have time at the end. No question about it. Ooh, I'm gonna need a minute. That was intense, chat. That was definitely wow. I'm shook. He still continues to perform. I was thinking I might have to retire him. But no. It looks like we're still going this season, chat. We are still going this season. All right, so let's start talking numbers. Let's start talking strategy. Let's start talking data. All right, here we go. So here's my stable. Here are my horsies. You see Hakanai just ran like a good little boy. And there's 2 horses I want to talk about tonight in terms of breeding are Jishin right here and full of Wabi Sabi. And we're going to do the shot in a minute here for these 9 stars, chat. So Jishin has parents. Mo, if you're still here, shout out to Mo, Bigfoot Stables, Weekend Moderator, and Wabi Sabi. So Wabi, my horse, is a B+. You can see all the stats here. Very strong track preferences. And you can notice with Weekend Moderator, exact same track preferences, different grades, obviously. But the other unique thing about this horse and this breed, and why part of the reason why I went with this breed was because that Weekend Moderator and Wabi Sabi have the exact same boosts and have near, if not identical, track preference, in my opinion. So what I did was, my theory goes something like this. And I can kind of give you a backstory. So Hakanai, who won, this is actually very fitting. Part of the reason why I was able to dig into Hakanai in his performance, and we'll pull him up quick. You can just look at his stats. I mean, he's got that 21 out of 31 races were podiums. And that's not without being dialed in. If we look at horsepower here, it won't have this most recent race, but at 11 furlongs, he has an 88% win play show rate all time of all of his races. And part of the reason why and how I dialed into that was that I looked at basically the horse's track preference, the track stars, the boost there, as well as the attribute boosts of the horse. And I looked at not only Hakanai, but all other horses that followed this exact same profile, loaded them all together, and came up with a kind of report that looks something like this. So this is the report for Wabi Sabi. And so I basically just plug in all of their boosts, whether they be for track or for attributes. And then what you're seeing across the top here is the distance in furlongs. Then the top number is the win place show percent. Again, we want that to be high. We have high podium rates. And then you have the average finish. The 18 in the middle is the number of races in the highlighted box in the middle there. Like right up there. The average finish percent, which is 40, which is pretty solid, especially given different field sizes. And win place, we talked about that. And then win percent at just under 39%. So basically what I did was I kind of like aggregated that, saw some trends. I saw, well, 8's really strong, especially at 18 races. And, 5 is also kind of strong too, but at fewer races. So what I did was I looked at and this is for all the horses. This isn't for Wabi and Weekend. This is for all horses that fit that exact same profile. And so I said, well, if Wabi has this profile, Weekend Moderator has this profile, let's take those together and let's see what happens. So this is kind of my breeding strategy one. We're going to talk about two. One is like with like. And now my theory, which I wasn't able to test today, was that hopefully what I'm doing is I'm compounding and I'm increasing the likelihood of success at previously known successful distances. So that's strategy number one. In chat, as a side note, if you have a Gen 0 horse, or you have, you want to look at, the profile, like you're seeing here for one parent, the profile of another parent. If you're interested in this distance preference theory, I will not make any guarantees on performance or anything like that. Again, sample size, very small. We're still learning a lot. But if you would like this for one of your horses, for a few of your horses, I would be more than happy to create this for you. Shoot me a DM. It's hard to kind of put out in a tool right now. I'm working on it, trying to. But shoot me a DM. Discord, Twitter. Say, hey, can I get a kind of a race profile for this type of horse? And just give me the horse name. And I will send you a screenshot just like this. So you can look at, what type of conditions, track preference, distance, similar horses have had success with. More than happy to provide that for you. No problem at all. Before we get into breeding strategy 2, I want to just hit up chat. We have IMTs 9696 in chat. Hey man, completely new. Read some Medium articles. Still having troubles. Would love to get a beginner guide from you as to what you look out for during buying a horse. Yeah, we can absolutely talk about that. I'm going to make a note. Once we get through the segments tonight, I will do a quick run through. But please, I'm MJ Gaming on Discord, XMJ_GamingX on Twitter. If you want something a little more in depth, shoot me a DM. I'm happy to walk you through anything. But also ask the community. The Discord's great. There are a lot of super knowledgeable people. I'll never make any guarantees. I will tell you what I know and what my current theories are. Believe in complete transparency. So, but yes, would love to help you out. And we'll definitely go through a quick run through at the end of the night. So let me just add this to the notes so I don't forget. All right. So, breeding theory 1, match like with like in terms of preferences, stars, different grades, and smash them together to see if we can solidify distance preference within a horse. Moving on to strategy number 2. So this is where we're going to do shot time here. Chat, we'll go back to the stable. And so I made a promise on my last stream that if this was a female horse and A grade, I would do a shot on stream. Taking water just to prepare. It was not a filly, but it is A grade. And we did get 9 stars, which I think is really cool considering that, we were close on both parents, but that was 2.5 to 3, 2.5 to 3. It seemed to kind of end up being a best of both worlds situation here, and seems favorable from at least a track preference standpoint. So, chat, in honor of No You Didn't Tie, we're doing it right now. In honor of 9 stars for this unnamed foal, which it might have to be alcohol named at this point. But yes, in honor of the 9-star breed, chat, here's to you. Here's to Third Time. Here's to the OGs in the house: Brett Smith, Trot, Ty, Lacey, Mo. We got some new people in the house. I am Tease. Thank you. We've got. Oh, I missed you. I missed you. I missed you. Trot, I think I said you. Bad Crockett's here. Thank you. Foron. That's who I missed. And F Dog. Cheers to you. Plancha. Whew. That'll get you going, chat. Ooh. I think I gave one of those to Hakanai before his last race. Farrat, how's it going? The original OG. Farrat was one of my first followers. Farrat, good timing. Cheers. Appreciate it, everyone. So, this is strategy number 2 for me. And again, I'm not saying these are the only strategies you should use. Do it depending on how your stable's made up and what your goals are. So, strategy number 2 right here is Neptune is an A+. I believe that Weekend Moderator was an A. So I'm trying to go up in grade here. Notice that the boosts aren't the same, so track preference might be a little different. But this is kind of not a safety, but like a backup plan, because this season I'm going to race Jishin. Because, well, he can. And I'm going to be testing. So yeah, this one, the race didn't run, but I had an 8 LT, would have been soft, some degree of soft. I think it was 80 or 100% chance of rain. And if my theory holds, then I'm very tempted to go back to weekend, because Hawk and I can still race. And really just kind of optimize for that, because I'm solidifying. Both are very also high boost horses, 23, 24 plus. High boost horses, I'm getting great track preferences. And if I can have a dialed in distance preference, it's going to save me a lot of discovery time. And it'll just be known, expected. So then if I can get a filly from there, I think that would be awesome. And I can try and find other horses that maybe have a similar profile and try and breed up with them. So that's kind of my 2 breeding strategies: is breed for distance preference, essentially, but also quality. Both were, 4,000 Derby, so very economical breeds for me. And both were, few siblings, high boosts, high stars. So like there are other good things outside of it, but this is kind of my big distance preference theory test. And then Neptune being just kind of more of like a power, like let's go up. We've got 9 stars. It's an A horse, which I know it's not an S, not an S plus. That's fine, because you can still find success in this game with lesser grade horses, as I've proven with Hawk and I, you can see on this sheet. So super excited with where things going. The other thing I want to mention about this horse is I tweeted about it maybe a week or 2 ago now, that I'm going to be doing a new segment on Across the Board. This is going to be called 0 to Hero. So this is going to be, you kind of know the genesis of my strategy with this horse. You're going to be following along with me. I'm going to have weekly updates on this horse, how it's doing, my theory on distance preference. So you can follow along in near real time, weekly time, with how everything is going. So, and extremely transparent. I've done this with Z horses in the past, but it's the ups, it's the downs, it's the pivots. Just so, I can show people, especially new people who maybe aren't as familiar with the game or just getting started, what it's like to have a horse. Now, granted, I think I may be out slightly ahead than some, just given the stars and the boosts that were brought into this breed. Excuse me. But I think it's a really cool, transparent way to see how the game works from a different perspective and in some shorter form content. Red, first time chatter in the house. Red, thank you also for the follow. New player here. What is a boost? So a boost, good question. A boost is a so boost came from the previous generation, the PFP generation, and they were given to, and I can show you. They were given to the Gen 0 horses like Hakanai here. You see Generation 0. You look at the bloodline, you see it came from both the stud and the mare are the PFPs. So when you click this little down arrow, you can see now start, speed, stamina, finish, heart, and temper. And so each horse will have a grade assigned to each one of these stats, attributes. But then on top of that, for the Generation 0, we will have access to see these boosts. And now don't think of boost can range from 0 to 3 per stat. Don't think of a boost of 0 as, oh my gosh, this is the worst. And a boost of 3 of, oh my God, I'm going to win everything. I like to think of them as guides, and a boost of 3 isn't necessarily a full grade boost. They are like add-ons to what the actual horse grade is. That's my take on it. That's how I've read it. And so it's something that I look for when I'm looking at Gen 0 horses to buy, whether it be from the Gen 0 ticket or from a claimer. That's a big consideration of mine because I'm thinking long-term of not just racing strategy, but also breeding strategy. And I feel that boosts along with matches can potentially, this is my theory, this isn't set in stone, lead to better performance, but also slightly better offspring. Again, just a theory. I don't want to throw anything out there and say, hey, yes, oh my gosh, you have to do this. No, you don't have to. That's just my take. That's my strategy. That's how I'm doing things. Raven, what's going on? Happy to have you here tonight. Mo says, to be fair, there are really any downs with the crown stimmies. Yeah, it's with crown boosting. It went up from, I think, 29 to 32 cents today alone. I'm not sure what it's at currently at the moment, but the PFP price is skyrocketing. I'm trying to get one, but people keep buying them before I can get to my computer. So please, if you could slow down on that, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Mo says, got my ass whooped in 3 races today, and I made $15. You love to see that. You love to see that. Those crown stimmies are awfully nice. So answer question on boosts. Those are my 2 breeding strategies. Again, like for distance preference, and then a little bit more for power, while still maintaining my quality standards of boosts, matches, few siblings, and economical price for what I am trying to do. So kind of speaking of races and my distance preference theory, because again, I don't want to say this is what you have to do and this is exactly how it's going to work. But if anyone has a horse and they would like that report for their horse, more than happy to provide it. I hope it serves as a good guide. It has for me. So just kind of talking about racing, and something that I'm noticing is that, both skilled and new players are still kind of picking races that aren't necessarily great for their horses. Mo brought up a great point about crown stimmies. Maybe you are racing to just try and get as much crown as possible. Crown being kind of like a, my words, not necessarily the teams, but like a governance token of sorts that you can use to put towards the racetrack ownership, and then in return get a portion of race fees back to you at the end of every racing season. But just kind of seeing horses misraced, killing profitability, just like a part of me dies inside. It hurts. But one type of race I really want to focus on tonight, and I've got some fun data to share along with this, and that is the claiming races and how those have changed and kind of evolved. So I've got this chart right here on claimer performance. It's going to need a little bit of an explainer. Make sure that that's up. Cool. Before we dive into this, just want to catch up on chat. Mo says Dr. Ruth is making waves. Can't wait to breed with her with boy named Sue. I love that. That's exciting. Crown put my future kids through college this week. Love it, Mo. Love it. So what we have up here is a little table I put together The top being kind of when the race occurred, the month, May, June, July, August. And then the left being the amount of the within the claiming race itself. So it's a 5,000 claimer, 10,000 derby, 30,000, 60,000, 100,000. And I've seen, people who say, "Oh, I'm kind of struggling with races." They just start throwing their horses in claimers, which isn't a bad thing to do necessarily. And you can absolutely find success in this. But the thing that I want to point out and make sure people are aware of is that the quality and the difficulty of claimers, especially at the lower levels, has increased over the past few months. Okay, so what are we looking at here in terms of these numbers? What do these numbers actually mean? So the top number is the average grade rating. So what that does is it takes a horse grade, S plus is 21 and D minus is 1, and it just assigns a number to that grade. So for example, an A plus is 12, A is 11, A minus is 10, B plus is 9. And then below that, you have the average total boost. So you see here 13, 14, 15, 15. So when I look at the 5K claimers over time, we started at essentially an A minus average. We are now one full grade higher. We're now at an A average. So as a racer, because there aren't necessarily handicaps applied to these always, and we're also seeing an increase of 2 boosts, which in my opinion means for stronger fields. So not only are the grades getting higher, the boosts are getting higher at 5K. So as a racer, it becomes more difficult to perform and also to possibly be claimed if you had a lesser horse going in there. IMTs, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. Same goes for 10K as well. So we went from a 9.6 to a 10.9. So basically a B plus to essentially an A. And 12.7 to 14.1 in terms of total number of boosts. Now, 30K kind of leveled off. And you can see that for these higher numbers, it's kind of consistent. We're hovering right around 12 for all of 60. Same for 100K. So how I'm reading this, 2 ways. If you're a racer, be more cognizant of I encourage you to be more cognizant of these lower level claiming fields, because if you had success before, you may not be having as much success now. If you are a buyer, on average, 30K is an awesome sweet spot for the quality of horse that you're going to get. I would even say 10K over the past month. Like, really, August has been an awesome time to claim across the board. But as soon as you get into 60 and 100K, that value kind of diminishes because you can see that the grade rating doesn't necessarily increase too much from the 30K amount. So be cognizant of this if you're a racer. I see some people take, A minus horses, throw them in higher grade derby claimers and just get smoked and destroy their profitability even more. Maybe it's an attempt to try and get, some money back. Maybe it is to, I don't know, see what else is out there. I would encourage you to maybe dial that back, look differently. Alternatively, if you're looking to buy and you have the funds to comfortably do so, I think there's some really cool opportunity here. So keep your eye out for claimers. Moral of the story, go ahead, screenshot this. I may tweet it out in a little bit as well, if you think that would be helpful. But I think this is a really interesting chart and a way to consider how the racing ecosystem, especially at the lower end, has changed over the past few months in terms of, at the very least, claiming races. Which again, I see a lot of people kind of default to if they can't find performance for their horse. And when that happens, I feel like the opportunity has diminished as well. So enough rambling. Chat, thank you, Mo. I appreciate that. If you have any other questions, you want to talk about breeds, you want to talk about breeding combos, you want to talk about races, performance, let me know. Let me see what was in here. All right, so I see we've got a, all right, so Ablet, I probably butchered that, but let me know what you want. I see you posted a stable link. Let me know what you want to see there. Can semi-stable, I want to get advice how I can optimize it. We can talk about that. I've got some other questions I want to hit first, but absolutely. So, all right. So, Trot, what was the name of the horse that you bought? So I can pull that up. And then let's take a look at. We had a question from IMTs, I believe. So, still having troubles. We'll have to get beginner guide from you. What do I look for during buying a horse? Okay, so while Trot gets that, we're going to talk about buying horses. So, there are a few ways to buy horses. One, you can do Gen Zero tickets. So, the first thing I would consider for me, I'm not saying this is for you. I thought you were getting a horse name you wanted to review. I could be wrong on that. If I am wrong, um, let me know. See your purchase yesterday. Interested in your opinion on it. I believe you said earlier. She's got legs is the horse. Okay. Let me talk about buying horse. I'll just give a quick overview, then I'll circle back to you. So go right on the Photo Finish site. Here's the ticket marketplace. This is one way of buying horses. So I mentioned boosts earlier. So you can see total boosts right here, and you can see the boosts of the individual attributes. You can see their grade ratings. Matches, I think, in my opinion, can help breeding a little bit. That's not necessarily perfect fact, and there's no quantitative data behind that necessarily at this time. The other thing to consider here is siblings. So high siblings, if you want to be kind of conscientious about inbreeding and what that could look like. So where to start? So first thing I would start at is your budget. So just be cognizant of that. I'm showing currently in US dollars. It's just easier for me to comprehend. Then I would almost go to total boosts because I'm kind of a boost buyer myself. I see there's a B minus here. It's a Colt. So I know that I won't be able to necessarily keep any breeds that I would get. But for the price, it isn't bad considering how many boosts it has. And here's a B with 1,000. But I think it might be kind of tough to get out of this. It's also RTF. And you can see a lot of these starting down here are RTF horses. Another thing to consider is just the overall ecosystem itself. So if I look at RTF, it's definitely let me just remove that filter. Definitely a bigger RTF, RDF are some of the bigger, more populated, I would say, horse track preferences out there. So you're going to be up against a lot of competition. So in theory, that could be harder. My stable right now is all LTS, which is not the smallest, but it is one of the smaller groups. So LDS isn't super populated. It's up there, but it's not the worst. So think about price, think about boosts, think about track preferences. In my opinion, ticket prices aren't necessarily worth it at this time, but I just want to show you for complete transparency to show you all options. I would go over to the marketplace. I would identify kind of what track preference you want. I would look for really high preferences here once you have that figured out and your budget as well. Derby, it is 800 Derby is $1, just for kind of reference. And so narrow down your preference, narrow down your grade. I would maybe try to stay away from B if you can afford it, just because you're going to have more racing opportunities, in my opinion, when you get higher up in grade. You don't need an S or an S minus, as you saw with Hakanai. We'll pull him up again here. But, I mean, I won 4,600 Derby last season with Hakanai. He's an A minus horse. That being said, he has 22.5 boosts. So he is a very high boost horse. Oh, shoot. I wasn't even showing the screen. Let me go back. That's a big L on my part. So, yeah, here's the Gen Zero page. And so I would come here, again, know your budget, know what kind of track you want to run on, and I would sort here. If you see something you like, go for it. I think the better opportunity is in the marketplace. Maybe look at foals. The thing is, we don't necessarily know how breeds are going to turn out. So, is my distance preference theory could be totally wrong. My breed up theory could be totally wrong. Don't know. So be wary of that. When I'm looking to buy on the marketplace, let's see if I can find something that like jumps out at me. No, female would be nice because you would get to breed with it. You can kind of grow out your stable over time. Let's see here. Here's one. I mean, okay, this is I think really expensive. 200,000 is crazy expensive, but I'm just going to use this as an example. So if we go to, there's no drop down here for like, hey, check the boosts. However, if we go to Bloodline, we can look at Shawnee Bear, and we're just going to click in a Shawnee Bear. We can see, okay, this is an S- horse. Largest purse was 16. Career earnings are 100,000. Of its 29 races, it performed very well. 23 out of 29 podiums. And then you can see, look at these boosts. Boosts, again, are from 0 to 3. Shawnee Bear looks like an awesome stud. So now let's check out Sunka Wakin. I probably butchered the shit out of that. But I'm seeing, okay, we've got 11, 19 out of 35. Still not horrible. Career earnings, 61,000. And we see, wow, okay, 3s across the board, 1 in stamina. Not necessarily the worst there. This looks like a cool horse. Price aside, I mean, this breed would be amazing to me. Great track preference. Parents have great boosts, and parents have great performance. So again, if price was better, if price fit my budget, that would be something I'd consider. 200,000, I think, is crazy high. I'm not saying it's wrong, but if you're just getting in the game, I think that's a little too high. Soul Guy, what's going on? Welcome. Sours, how you doing? Guy bought that from me for 60K. Was a Colt. Nice. Welcome, Sours. Had a great interview, discussion with him last show. Absolute legend in the space. Great resource. Excellent for helping new people, along with Mo, along with Lacey. This community, please, if you're new, the one biggest recommendation I can give you, this is not financial advice. This is just advice. Get into the Discord. We've got some wonderful people in there. So that's kind of how I would look at buying horses. Budget, track preference, and then look at just try and maximize what you can out of there, preferably within the A grade range, just so you can, get some good races out of it. If you want to expand your stable, look to Philly, but know that Phillies will have a premium price just because you get to keep those foals. Hope that answers. And again, please DM me, IMTs. If you have any other questions, I'm more than happy to walk you through one-on-one things and all of that. You can see all these bees. Who wants to tell him, chat? Geez. All right. So the next question was from She's Got Legs Trot. All right, Trot, let's pop it in. She's got legs. Oh. Trot, how new is the horse? I might need the actual, if you haven't raced much or raced at all, let me know. We'll circle back on that. Trot on race first time yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to be pulling that in probably tonight after stream. You'll see the site update with that. That's why it's not there. If you want to, throw the link in chat. You're going to get denied by my bot, but I can still get the perfect. Thank you. All right, so She's Got Legs. S horse. Billy, age 2. Woo! First place. Let's go. Congratulations, Trot. That's awesome. First throughout as well. So you see the early, mid, late fleet figure. It means it was just first place the whole time. Started out ahead and just crushed it. This was let's see what kind of race was this. 9 out of 12. Juvenile grade 2. Wow. No handicap at all. Just straight on. Well done, Trot. All right, so let's take a look at this horse. So we've got 3 left, 2 turf, 1.5 soft. As you get up, just again for the newbies, the boosts tend to go down within the S grades. I wouldn't necessarily be super deterred by that. Let's check out the Bloodline. Bear Ghost and Dariush. Dariush is a wonderful wine, if anyone's ever had it. We're going to do something a little different. So since we don't have the race data, we're going to take a look at this breed. And we're also going to look at it here on the site. But I'm going to plug in. I'm going to go to the breed barn. Oh, we are in the breed barn. We're going to type in Dariush and clear out Wabi and Weekend. Again, that distance preference breed, one of my 2 breeding strategies. Dariush. And it was Baraghost. Again, I'm the worst with names. I don't think I'll ever be good at names, chat. All right. So a few things again, not related. Awesome. So no inbreeding and a valid breed. Very, very cool. Because we are so zoomed in, we've got some things blacked out. Let me just zoom out one. We'll see if we can get all of that data in there. It helped out a little bit. Okay. So I'm seeing lower HEs. HE is it's like a power metric. It's not necessarily, oh my God, it's going to be a bad breed, but it's your win play show percent times the number of races times your average profit. So this just means it probably raced at a bunch of different distances, could have been for crown stimmies, other reasons. But I'm seeing, okay, so overall both were S grades, start, speed, stamina. Oh my gosh, look at this matching up until heart, a little better. So you got an upgrade there. All right, so direction. Okay, so kind of expected. So here's your expected right here. So I would say almost a 3 direction, a 2.5 surface, and a 1.5 condition. Let's see what we got. So 3 on here. Yep, 2.5 was okay, 2. And then 1.5. Yep, that kind of tracks. Very cool. And so now we're going to move down a little bit. We're going to look at this. This is the average finish position. So I like this better than just, oh, I finished first. Well, if you finish first out of 4, that's not necessarily the same as finishing first out of 12. So I look at this, I look at numbers, the lower, the better. If you're around 40% or lower, you're probably doing pretty well. And if we mouse over the blue, we can see this is just Dariush's, all of Dariush's races. The numbers in here are the number of races. The number in here are the number of Baragos races. And here are the average fleet figures for both horses. So looking at this, and to your credit, Trot, I'm seeing, so what's that? 71 and 60, 71 and 58. This is probably the best distance to run at. And you have the highest average fleet figure. So I'm seeing signs of racing 12. Trot, why did you race 12 with that horse? I would love to know that. This is my site. This is MJ Informatics. We're looking at the breed barn. You can't see it. It'll preload with 2 horses, but just cross out the X's. You can plug in any 2 horses, and it will give you all of this information. The other site where we looked at the horse performance, also my site, and that is the horsepower tool. The link to Discord to avoid bot. Yeah, how much? Okay, you paid 400,000 Derby. Wow. 4K. I was looking at purchasing before the race. The previous owner entered that race and honored our deal beforehand. Oh, very cool. That was nice of them. Again, photo finish community. You can't say enough good things about them. You just can't. So this is again how I like to use the breed barn. I'm getting an idea of potential distance preference here. Definitely towards the end. And this, I'm getting signs towards 12. So very, very cool. You kind of around the average-ish. You have the number of races, your best fleet figure, just pretty solid. Your average fleet figure, very close. You do have a lot of siblings going on here. But that's not the end of the world because you're already at an S grade. Yeah, let's take a look. We can watch this race quick. How long is this? 12 furlongs. We got a long one, but yeah, we'll pull it up. She's got like 5.55 odds here, chat. Thank you, Solga. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's and again, if anyone has any questions on any of my tools, I have custom metrics in there. My goal with my tools is to really just provide you with, no matter what your strategy is, provide you with the information that you need, whether it be for racing, breeding, breed analysis, so that you can take the data and you will have the information to supply or better understand your own strategy. I don't want to tell you how to do it. I'm not going to say this is going to lead to better races, better breeds. No, I just simply want to inform you and educate you to the best that I can and help you better achieve your strategy. So okay, we are off. She's got legs already in front, getting a little pressure from Scuba Clock. Very similar odds. But again, on the inside, much like Hakanai in his previous race, and we are 4 furlongs in. I feel look at him just coasting. Just absolutely coasting. And this is a filly, isn't it? Trot. So you're gonna have some fun with this. And again, for the future, you can use my site. The bottom of it is actually the stud barn, where you can look for studs and you can do those comparisons. You can swap that out, find other long marathon distance preference, and try and match that up just to keep that going. This is incredible. Just like it's nothing. Like it's the only horse out on the track, flying through 7 furlongs in. It's just chilling. Doesn't even look back. Doesn't even care. No one else is out here. Just a nice day. Nice little 12 furlong little sprint, little jaunt, little trek, little trot. And just not even fair. Not even fair. We're going to take a look at all the horses. We're going to look at the field. And actually, we'll look at the HPCT, the horsepower comparison tool after this. Take a look at the race and kind of see, although these will be newer horses, so it probably won't even be in there. So maybe we'll hold off on the HPCT. But wow, look at this. Even just pulling ahead even more. It's not even close. Not even close. Just smoked him. Absolutely smoked him. 100 meters left. No other horses are even on the screen right now. Well done, Trot. Let's get some claps for Trot here. Well done. Just under 3-second difference. Excuse me. Wow. Congratulations, Trot. Congratulations, Pocono Racing. So we see, okay, S horse, S minus, S minus, A plus, S. So a few things I want to point out here, especially to the new people. Is that just because you have the best horse on paper doesn't mean you're going to win every time. Look at okay, so she's got legs as an S horse, 3, 5, 6.5, right? Here's Stacy. Maybe it's not the optimal distance for the horse, but you've got 5, 6.5, a different distribution, right? But was beaten by an A plus horse with fewer boosts. So I think, again, more than just speed, more than raw performance, I really think optimizing your horse for distance preference is a stronger strategy to use. And don't be discouraged if you enter a race and you're like, oh no, I'm going to get smoked because all these better horses are in here. My last race with Hakanai, I don't think he was the strongest either. I know he wasn't, because he wasn't the favorite. A minus, okay, so B plus. There's an A plus in here, Buttermilk. A beautiful, beautiful horse. Whoever owns Buttermilk, that's a wonderful horse. It looks pretty, at least. But yeah, A minus, A plus. But this was a handicap stakes race, so again, they try and even things out a bit. But big win. So again, don't be discouraged. Don't necessarily think you have to have the best of the best. You don't. You can still have success in this game without that. And I think that's what makes this so accessible, so beautiful, and so exciting, because you truly don't know where things are going to go. Mono says, Stacy, had better money line odds compared to other S horses. Looks like it was in correct distance, just had a bad roll. Yes, and that can happen too. That can absolutely happen. Okay, so we went over that. Any other, I feel like I'm missing something. Went over horse buying, went over Trot's horse. Any other questions, horses, breeds you want to discuss? Otherwise, we can go ahead and we can wrap up for the night. We've been going for just under an hour. Appreciate you all for coming in. Really means a lot. And again, if you have questions, if you want this chart for your horse, again, and I'm not going to promise you anything, but if you want it as a guide, shoot me a DM. More than happy to make this for you for your horse profile and to send it off to you. If you have just general questions, if you have questions about my website, you want to walk through, if you're new, join the Discord, but please reach out to me too. I'm more than happy to help. And if I don't know, I'm going to point you to someone or somewhere that will know. And I will never make any promises to you that I know for a fact will not be true. Um, I hate leading people astray. I hate leading people on. One of my core tenets, if you followed me since the beginning, Lacey, if you're still here, I know you know this, is that we all grow together. And I think we do that as a community. And the more we can learn, and that's why I have my website, and that's why my website is free, is I think the better the community gets, the better we all get, the more fun we all have. And I just want to make things more accessible for you all. Oh, you're stable. That's right. Thank you. All right. Yeah, we got time. We got time. We got time. Let me scroll up. I've got the link still. Don't you worry. Okay, let's take a look. I've got that right here. Hawkeye. All right. Ooh, look at this. An S, S minus, S minus, S minus. Got some silly names in here. Joshy's Horsey, Adidas, some Rocket, Kim Kardashian, Montana, and Training Buddy, your trainer horse. All right. So, what questions do you have here about your stable? Absolutely, Trot. Absolutely. And just as an FYI, updates are not live. So, it's usually 24 to 48 hours at the latest. If I'm going to be out for an extended period of time, I will shoot out a tweet, let people know. But yeah, it's usually, if not same day. I try to get 2 to 3 updates in a day, but at worst, I'm averaging 24 to 48 hours. Some Rocket, think that had a different name 6 hours ago. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. I saw something in the Discord about this. Too bad we can't see that old name. That's too bad. All right, I'm breeding with Montana, pumping these good kids out, but can't breed within them after because all the same mother. Okay, so I don't really think that other name would fly. Did you? I don't know what that other name was, but I think I have an idea of what that other name is, and yeah, probably not going to fly. Okay, so my last stream I did with Sours, if you're still here, he brought up a great point. You've got these great kits, right? So let's look at your foals. All Colts. Okay, so yes, looks like very strong Colts, S minus. What I would do is I would, and again, my interview last week, my show with Mike Sours, go into Discord and say, hey, I would like to buy a womb. I have these horses. I'd like to buy a womb. Who is available? So I would go that route. But if you get a filly, then you're okay. I recommend using my breed barn, plug in your horse, go down to the bottom, and that would help. But yeah, throw out in Discord when the time comes saying, hey, I've got these horses. I don't have a female I can breed with in my stable. Are there any wombs for sale? Here's the preferences I'm looking for, grades I'm looking for. See if anyone responds. Again, excellent community. Definitely reach out to them. IMTs, if I missed that 26 minutes ago, I apologize, but I just want to say thank you for the follow. Ardent Park here. MJ, useful hint for new players. If they buy a foal that race in a few seasons, they can check out what earlier foals from that same parents did, and that gives them a hint on distance preference when their horse is ready to race. I love that. I love that. I think that's great. I think that's a great tip. Really appreciate that a lot, Ardent Park. Thank you. And if you're interested in seeing what those other foals are, check out this tool. Go to the breeder board, which is my favorite name of all of my tools. A lot of them are kind of punny. But you can look at your, whether it be the sire or the dam, plug in their name. Like, let's go down a weekend. Weekend moderator. You can see that all the, we've got Fantafoal filter on. But here you go. So here are all of the horses, all of the offspring right here. So you could take a look at these horses. I think you can click, you can't, I can update that so you can actually see the horse on photo finish from here. I'll roll that out hopefully within the next day or so. So if you want to, again, see offspring from similar horses and do comparisons, make that super easy. If you look at the grade improvement, just again, kind of as an FYI, it basically takes that same number assignment that we talked about here with, A SSS plus being 21, D minus 1. It applies that same logic. There's the tab. And says, okay, what is the average of, if mom is a 10, dad is a 12, average should be 11, but the offspring is a 12. Well, that's a great improvement of 1. So this fanciful filter right here, which is turned on by default, will only show you the horses that are above what they should be. So, for example, you can see it right here visually that the A of Weekend Moderator with the A of these horses has produced A plus offspring, which is pretty freaking cool. So shout out to Weekend Moderator here. You can also use it to quickly identify, if we clear that filter out for Weekend Moderator, just by scrolling. You can see, okay, well, Bangladesh has 3 right here. Bad Attitude has 3. There's 1. So I'm just looking for like the really big gaps. Granddaddy Perp. Lord Strange looks pretty solid. Rhyme Time has been killing it. You can also filter by your... Oh, I got to add kind of the direction here as well. But a quick way for you to quickly see, like what horses have bred better than others. So if you're trying to look at maybe trying to improve that, bump up a grade, there's a chance. Again, I'm not going to guarantee anything. But this is a very cool way to do so. I did spend 3 years in penitentiary. Mo, I love that. Put that in the Louvre. Love to see it. There's your boy McFly. I know. Shout out to that. Mo says for womb service press. So great tip, Ardent Park. Thank you so much. And then I hope that answers your question, Oblet. And again, if I'm butchering your name, please correct me, and I'm so sorry. But I hope that helps. And if that didn't, let me know. I would love to dig in deeper and help you even more. Any other questions? You want to talk about breeds? You want to walk through hypothetical breeds? You want to look at horse race performance? Again, we talked about earlier, for those of you that may have missed it, go to Horsepower, which is kind of my racing tool. A few things to look at, because now we have to worry about and consider injuries and peak and when horses peak. So again, right here in the middle, we have the, was injured. If you start seeing this populate more towards the top, those more recent races, may be a concern for you. Especially, you can see down here how many seasons or years the horse has been racing. Also for the peak of the horse, we know for Gen 0, which Hakanai is, that was between 4.5 and 5.5 years. Horses will hit that peak and then decline off that peak at different rates, and could fall anywhere between that 4.5 and 5.5 mark. Use this as kind of a barometer based off of your finish percent and profitability, especially if the horse is dialed in. If the horse isn't dialed in, it may not be as good of a barometer. But to kind of look at horse durability, whether you're buying, you're racing your own stable, definitely a good consideration. If you go to my Joshy's Horsey, let's take a look. Joshy's Horsey. Right here. All right, if you go to my Joshy's Horsey, do you think he'll be able to keep up with the new horses now able to race? I'm worried that S minus S field is just going to be taken over by Monster Horses OG stable. This is a great question. Where can I find Red? So the site that I used, sorry, I'm gonna get to Abilette just because it's a longer answer. I want to get back to Red. Sorry, I missed you there. So the breed info is go to mjinformatics.com. You go to just the breed barn, which is right here. Alex, perfect. Okay, Alex, it is. I can do that. I can say Alex. All right, so let's look at Joshy's Horsey. So it is a Gen 0. Looking pretty strong. Temper. Okay. So that's a little concerning to me, but you've got 19, 28 out of 61. That's pretty solid podiums. So I think let's type in Joshy's. Get Joshy's up here. And also just a note that this date that you see here for Hakanai is not the last date that the tool was updated. That is just the last time that Hakanai ran prior to tonight. So we can see here for Joshi, we can go all the way out to the 27th. Okay, so for Joshi's Horsey, so it looks like you've been running a lot of claimings lately. I can just see that right here by these races 60, 75, 100. And it looks like you've been running. So are you farming? I'm curious as to like why all the different distances. But then let's take a look here. So it looks like you've got this horse more dialed in as the seasons have progressed. I've also seen more profitability here, which is very nice. Looks like you're pretty fast, maybe at 7 and 12. Let's look here, 873. Yeah, okay. Not many races at 12, though. Not many races at 12. Let's just look at season. We'll get rid of these earlier seasons. You can just kind of filter that in the top right. Let's look at seasons 4 and 5, see how things have been. It says bottom late July. Probably had like 30 races in. Definitely won most of his derby recently. No, not farming. Schedule has just not been friendly to his preferences. Some days I just go off distance. 7 and 8 are his best. I'm not seeing 7 and 8 being super strong here. Just looking at your profitability. I'm curious as to why you aren't racing. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that was basically just one huge win. Your win play show at 3 out of 4 races at 11 furlongs. If we isolate 11, you've got, when we look at this, you look at your place, soft, yielding soft, good. And it's an LDS horse. Oh, so these were claimings. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, your success here at 11 was for claimings. And again, you very, very quickly isolate certain metrics in performance. Only racing horse, is that skewed to previous owner? So yeah, this will be all owners. This isn't just you. My first week racing, I was probably garbage learning the game. No worries. I mean, hey, we all were. We all were. I mean, if you're okay with those claimings, I'm curious why you don't just continue to hit those. Just because you've got higher than average fleet figure, 70 over 69 in those. Your win play show is higher than your average. Your win percent is much higher than your average. I'd be curious running 1 or 2 more what that looks like. I could also kind of run a profile for you, just because this is this kind of horse. It's a Gen 0 horse. But yeah, it looks like you definitely did a good job of kind of eating away at some of that negativity there. If we cut out claiming, with this filter on the side, looks like this horse kind of struggled a bit. We scroll down here again. Once you filter it, it'll all kind of come out. Yeah, okay. So I can see why you'd say maybe 8 and 9 are stronger. When you cut out claiming, you can see the speed. This is your speed. Here's kind of the median speed. So you're running fast, but again, speed isn't everything, in my opinion. This would kind of infer that maybe 9 might be a little stronger than 8. Again, we're struggling with profitability here. I mean, if you're okay with running the 11 claimers, I would consider that. Not financial advice. To answer your question, though, about the new breed of horses, I don't think they would necessarily be in the claimers this fast. So I think that's kind of the other reason why I recommend claimers. Again, not financial advice. But because I don't think they'll be racing in there as often. I think you would still struggle, in my opinion, with this data, racing in those main races. With the new crop. Not necessarily this season, but I see new crop being more of an issue coming year 3, year 4 for them. That's where I kind of see things taking off. Any other questions? I have to think bad profitability is probably most old owner. Yeah, I mean, you can see that here because you definitely shot up in the most recent seasons. Um, I think recently I'm deaf. The profit more than says. Obviously doesn't know. Yeah, right. It will not account for the owner's difference at all. But yeah, no, it did look like improvement. And again, we go down. We include that all. Um, he definitely turned things around in season 5. It looked like. Any other questions? Chat. Thank you. This has been a great stream. Really loved this stream. We did a shot. We talked tools. We talked data. And shoot me a DM if you have questions. Happy to help. Usually respond fairly quick. But if not, thank you, Mo. Appreciate that. We will close out for the evening. I want to give shout out to new followers, Red and I'm Tease. Thank you, Alex, for the questions. Thank you, Ardent Park, for the tip. Mo for the support and comments. Trot for being Trot. Lacey was in here. Sowers was in here. Let's see. Who else do we have? Soul Guy showed up. Raven was in here. Want to give just thank yous to everyone. Ty was in the house. Saw the shot. Breadsmith made an appearance. Bad Crockett was in here. F Dog and Foron as well from Footium. Thanks for the stream. No problem. Great stream. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thanks, MJ. Always great hearing your big brain work. Too kind, Trot. Too kind. All right, we've been going for just over an hour now. I'm going to sign off. Chat, wherever you are in the world, have a great